Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. I hope you guys are doing great, if not better than when this COVID started. I'm currently sick, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds kind of off. But I had a fever like a few days ago, and I'm feeling better. I just have like a runny nose. But anyways, back in February, I filmed a video talking about leaving my toxic relationship, and it got a lot of attention from like my family, from my friends, from people all over YouTube, people messaging me on Instagram. And I don't want to make this video talking about my toxic relationship. I want this video to be more about moving on. Maybe there's some girls, I got a lot of messages and a lot of comments of girls saying they're afraid of leaving, or that my video helped them leave. And you know, I went a little bit of how when me and my ex left each other, but you know, I left it at that. And so I want to talk about the person who came into my life and helped me move on. I think if it wasn't for him, I would have never left, and who knows if my cycle would have continued or where I would be. Let's name him C. My family is gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. So I met C at Lido's in Linwood, a club for older people. Thursdays is usually norteño night. So I'm standing by the bar, and my aunt, who I always go clubbing with, she went to go dance. So this señorón came to ask me out to dance, and I was like, no. And so I guess he's seen that I was like, no. So he came, he grabbed me, and he took me to dance. And he was like, I saved you, right? And I was like, yeah, you did, because like I wasn't gonna go dance with the older guy. So from there we danced a lot, and he was like, if I could describe him, he was like cholo-ish, like in his high school days, but fixed his life and wanted to be paisa. So I don't know, but he was really cool. So the way he was like caught my attention. So we exchanged numbers, whatever, we went our separate ways, and I don't remember if we texted. So you know, in that time I was still off and on with my ex. Not off and on, we had left each other, but we didn't know how to get away from each other. So I kind of would delete the messages just in case, if and when, like, no, I didn't delete the messages, but I was very careful of like when he would text me, because I didn't want my ex to see it, which I was being sneaky or whatever, but we weren't together no more. Like once we moved out, I was doing my thing, he was doing his, but it was just a crazy toxic relationship that out of nowhere he would just go through my phone. So once we left each other, I was kind of more like, you're not gonna go through my phone no more, and or if you do, like, you're gonna see something you're not gonna like. So that was it. So then on Friday we went to Pico Rivera. We were texting, and he was like, oh no, he invited me with his friends to Hollywood, but I was like, that's not my vibe. Like, I'm more like of a dancing chick. So he was like, all right, I'll go where you are. So he went, but he was like, I'm not wearing boots. I was like, no, well, it's fine, you know, like, it's in the cement. So that night he met my squad, he met the people I'm always with, he met my cousin's friends, my cousins, my other tia, and we danced. And after that, you know, we went to the parking lot, and I was like, well, we're gonna go home. So I didn't know we were gonna actually go get tacos like near there, so I invited him, and he went. And that was it. we continued to text, and it was Thanksgiving week. So this was a week later. You For the past 4 years, I had been spending the holidays with my ex. So it was Wednesday, and I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, my ex was like on one, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go home. But because C had messaged me saying if I wanted to hang out, and at this point I was like, of course, anything else but my ex will make me happy at the moment. So I told my ex, I was like, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow. So I came home, I changed, and I had those text messages still when C was like, because I asked him, like, where are we gonna go so I could dress appropriate. He was like, just wear anything that makes you comfortable. He's like, I'm hungry, so we're getting food for sure. And I was like, all right. So I think I wore ripped jeans, boots, and a crop top, because at that time I still didn't have a lot of clothes, so that was like my go-to. And we drove all the way to like Hollywood, and he was like, hey, like, you should look up a club that's open. I was like, you know what, the only thing that I know that's open right now is Malecon. I was like, but I think there's La Décima Banda. So I was like, the tickets might be really expensive, and I was like, to be honest, I don't have money right now like that. He's like, well, let's just go. He's like, but the thing is, I don't have clothes. So it was like already 10:30. We went to go get tacos in, I don't even know what city this place is called, but it was like Birreria Gonzalez, and there was a Target right there, and we rushed in. He got a shirt, and yeah, he just got a shirt, I think, and we were on our way to Malecon, just like that. And we got to Malecon, and he bought the tickets. They were expensive, so I bought the drinks. And like that night I almost fought. Like, I'm a peleonera, like, when I'm drunk, but I just hate people looking bad, giving me a bad eye, or like, I don't know, I'm just like that. So he doesn't know my temper, he doesn't know who I get. So I put my sweater on a chair, so we want to go dance. And we want to go dance like a lot, it's La Décima Banda. And we went back to our spot by the bar, and where I had left my sweater, and this girl was sitting on my sweater, and I was like, like, can I get my sweater? And she's like, well, nobody was here, so I sat here. And I was like, yeah, but you're sitting on my sweater. So she ignored me, and he started to pull my sweater, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get my sweater. So I like pulled it, and she got up, and like I was tapping myself down with like a napkin, and he was like, let's just go dance. And I was like, all right. And as we were walking away, I grabbed the napkin and I threw it at her. So he just looked at me, and he's like, what the hell? And I was like, oh my god, maybe like I fucked up, like maybe I should have never done this, like how embarrassing. So whatever, we kept dancing. He even took me a picture with La Décima Banda. So this guy is like my type. Like I'm having the time of my life. Like, I'm having so much fun. So we took pictures with La Décima Banda, and we went our own way. He dropped me off home. He went home, and as we're texting, like, I don't know, just things where like I was starting to suspect things. Like, I know when someone is keeping something from me, or when I have to make my own connections, like put two and two together. So, but I didn't want to think any type of way about that person, because I was having fun. I would tell my cousin like certain things about us, and my cousin was like, I think he has kids. And I'd just be like, I don't know, I don't think so. Like, why didn't he mention it, So whatever, I never brought it up, because I was like, I don't want to ruin something that's good and I feel good and I'm comfortable in, And so we continued texting. Thanksgiving came, and then Friday I was invited to, I believe, a party in like Juruapa Valley, and I was with my ex, and I got buzzed or drunk to the point that I knocked out. He was driving my car, and I remember my phone fell out of my pocket, and I was like, my phone's about to die. He's not gonna know where my charger is, so I'm just gonna leave it there. You know, he's not gonna go through it. When I woke up, because if you go through my videos, you know that we would always sleep in my car. So when I woke up in my car, I woke up to him crying. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, I went back to sleep. So when I woke up the second time, we were outside, and he was like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, tell you about what? It's like, about C. And I was like, you know what? I knew you were going to go through my phone. And I never erased the text messages. Telling him. I never erased the text messages. So you can see that you're not my only option anymore. Other people can make me happy. And this person is giving me the attention that I want. And when I said that, I think that's when he realized, like, it was over for us. Because he had never seen me talk to anybody else in the way that me and C would talk. And the simple fact that he thought that I went home the night that I dropped him off at home, like, I was starting to leave him and, like, focus on me in a way. So you know, maybe it wasn't the right way things happen. Maybe I'm in the wrong, but it happened. And I'm kind of glad it happened how it happened, because who knows, I would have been in the same cycle. I would have still been there. I would have never moved on. And I'm glad things happened the way it happened, though. So that's when me and my ex kind of, like, we went our own ways. I went home, he went home, and I continued to talk to C. So I took C to a party in Linwood. So maybe a few people have saw him. Where else did I take him to? I took him to two parties that night. I think we saw each other at Lidl's within the time that we were talking. And where else? That's all I remember. So I think it was like 5 times that we have seen each other in less than a month. So within this time, I would talk to him about me doing my little sister a birthday party. So my cousin Brian was like, hey, are you ever gonna invite him? And since it's my party, I'm not the type to invite, like, my people or whatever. And I was like, I don't know, should I? And then he was like, well, you have been talking about your sister's party in front of him for a while now. Like, you should mention it to him. I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, maybe I should. But I'm very overprotective about my family, my mom and my sister specifically. So I'm just like, just don't bring anyone, to my mom. So I was like, all right, maybe I will. So it was already like December, beginning of December. And I texted him and I was like, hey, like, I want to invite you to my sister's party. You're more than welcome to come. You can invite your cousin. And, because his cousin had asked me out to dance at the club one time when we bumped into each other. But I guess he didn't know who I was. But yeah, we were talking. And I was like, you can invite him so you're not by yourself. So he's like, all right. When he sends me a message, and I still have that message, he was like, thanks, I'll be there. He's like, something like that. He was like, I'm going to be moving out of state soon. So I responded and I was like, where are you going? If I can know. And he was just like, we'll talk about it when I see you. And this might be the last time you see me. And I was like, okay. So it was, we never talked again. It was December 12th. No. It was December, oh my god, December 12th, el Día de la Virgen, if I'm thinking correctly. So it was that day, and my cousin was like, hey, let's go sing Las Mañanitas to the Virgen in Placita Olvera. I was like, yeah, for sure. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna invite C. And it was maybe 40 minutes before it all ended, like at 2 in the morning, and C came through. He drove all the way from, I think he lived in Colton, somewhere around over there, and he pulled up. And that day he told me, he's like, hey, I'm not sure if I can go because I have my dog. And then that's when like I started to think more like, okay, maybe he does have kids, but why hasn't he told me? So I'm just like, I don't know. So anyways, he came through, and my cousin drove my car, and I went with C. So this was our opportunity to talk. You know, I'm feeling this guy. We're talking, we're dancing, we're hanging out. Just wanted, like, one thing I hate is getting my feelings played with, or someone leading me on to something that we're not. I just like honesty. Like, if all you want to be is like friends with benefits, then tell me, you know. It'll be up to me whether I want to continue seeing you or not, you know. But don't play with me. Like, I hate my feelings played with. So we were driving, and I was like, so where are you moving to? He's like, oh, I'm moving to Oregon. And I was like, oh, for what? He's like, to be closer to the kids. And I will forever remember this. Oh my god, I'm gonna try not to cry. I'm an emotional person, if you haven't noticed, but I was really feeling this person. Like, out of all the people I've met, this was like the person. So he was like, to be closer to the kids. And I was like, what kids? He was like, I have 2 daughters. And I was like, why didn't you tell me this when we first met? You know, it would have been up to me if I wanted to keep talking to you or not. He was like, because you never asked me. And I was like, I never asked because at the time I never had kids of my own. So I was like, but when you meet someone, this is something you're supposed to bring up, like, right then and there. And he was like, well, I'm gonna try to work things out with my baby's mom and, you know, see where things go. So I had already noticed he had tattoos, and I'm pretty sure he had a past. So I guess the baby's mom didn't want to be with him at a certain point in their life, but I guess for the best of their kids, like, he was gonna move over there. So I was like, okay, like, you just killed me with this one. I never talked to him about my toxic relationship. So that night I opened up to him and I told him everything. He was like, wow, like, you hide your feelings and your emotions and your pain pretty well. It's like, I would have never imagined you've been through everything you've been through. I was like, yeah, I hide it pretty well most of the time. I was like, I never opened up to you about it because it's something, you know, that when the time's right, I'll let you know. And but, you know, I would have appreciated if he would have told me from the beginning he had kids. I would have never gotten, like, somewhat attached. And maybe, I don't know, who knows. So anyways, so that night I went, he brought me home. So that same night he tells me, so Saturday might be the last day you see me, and by Sunday I'm gonna be with my kid's mom. He's like, so out of respect, like, please don't contact me again. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. It is what it is. So it was gonna be up to him whether he wanted to go to my sister's party or not. He had met my family. Only me and him knew what was going on at this point. Again, I didn't want to bring someone to my mom and my sister where they were never going to see this person again. or I could have introduced them as friends or whatever, but I was feeling this person. So 3 days later was my sister's party. He came through late, but he went. So if people went to my sister's party, know exactly who I'm talking about. And I remember I introduced him to my mom, and he kissed me. He took shots with my family. And right after that, we left my sister's party. He drove his car. We went to like 2 different after parties. At the end of the night, we separated from my family, and we had a night to ourselves. And he dropped me off like at 5 or 6 in the morning, and I didn't have a key to my apartment, like the outside gate. So he jumped the fence for me. He opened the door, and he gave me a kiss. And he was just like, take care of yourself. And that was it. And I was like, you know what? I'm nobody to tell you anything. At the end of the day, it's your kids. It's your decision. And I was like, I wish you the best too. So, I never contacted him again. I had his number on WhatsApp. I would always look at it and see maybe he was active. I was in hopes that he would contact me, and he never did. And I would always be like, oh my god, I miss this person. Like, me and this person were so much alike. We clicked like in an instant, and I never looked for him, because the last thing I ever want is baby mama drama. Like, I don't want to be the person to be the reason why someone has problems or anything like that. So the next day, Sunday, I told my mom like our situation, and I was like, that's the first and last time you're ever gonna see him. So January passed, February passed, ending of February, I think it was. I finally have the balls to message him. I was like, hey, like, just wondering how things are. But I was always afraid of like messaging him, because like the last thing I wanted was to hurt myself. The last thing I wanted was his baby mama to message me saying, hey, leave us alone, we're a happy family, or something like that. Or even worse, or hurting myself, causing problems. I don't know, like, I just didn't want it. So I would always stop myself, until one day, like, I think I was at work, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, just wondering how you are. He was like, oh, I'm doing good, just with the family. He's like, how about yourself? And I was like, well, same old, you know. That was it. I never got a response back. Till this day, my number hasn't changed. I'm not sure if he blocked me on WhatsApp, but I can't see his activity anymore. So, or I think I probably blocked it and deleted it. I don't know, but me and my cousin Brian were really close. So I always tell him, you know, maybe this person came into my life like to help me get over my ex, and maybe wasn't the person like for me. So I appreciate him a lot for like coming in my life at such dark phase in my life, you know, because I don't know where I would be if I didn't meet him, and he made me happy. So I don't know. To him, I doubt he'll ever see my videos. He wasn't, from what I remember, he wasn't into Instagram, Facebook, none of that. All we did was text. So I just hope everything's going good for him, and he's a really cool person, so he deserves all the happiness in the world. And I wish him, and I hope God blesses him and his family, and everything works out for them. So I had gotten questions how it's been since like I left my relationship. So this was like part 1. Part 2, I'm gonna keep it 100. You guys know I don't sugarcoat anything. There were some relapses where like not as bad as they were when we were together, but sometimes where I would give in and I would try to look for him, but then I would be like, nah, like, no, it's okay. So there was one time in January that I looked for him because of a certain situation that happened, and his friends asked me to look for him, and I knew I was healing when I went to go see him. He got in my car. He started to get triggered about a certain person. He walked out and I left. I didn't wait for him in the car. I didn't chase after him. I didn't beg him to go back in the car. I simply left. He still had the audacity to text me and be like, I didn't think you would leave. And that's what I knew, like, he doesn't have me in the palm of his hands like he used to. So, didn't talk to him. When I got pregnant, I was a person who told him myself I was pregnant. He looked for me. He unblocked me on Instagram. And weeks before that, he had unblocked me just to tell me that he was like with a different girl, whatever. But I didn't really give into it. Like, I don't care anymore. So I was like, hey, like, I don't need any drama right now. Like, I'm pregnant. So I told him myself, like, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, we never kept contact, when it's not the case. Relapse happens and it's there, and it's okay. You're gonna know when it's over. So at this point, I don't care what he does. He could do his thing. So a few weeks ago, he unblocked me on Instagram, asking me for his passwords, for his email, and all this stuff. And I'm not as cold-hearted as people think I am to him, or the way he's made people think I am. So I gave him his passwords. It took me a while, but I gave it to him. Maybe a week after that, or even days, he unblocked me on Facebook, and he messaged me. He was like, hey, can I go pick you up? And I was like, for what? He's like, oh, we're drinking. And I was like, all right. So we hanged out, and same friends he used to hang out with, and still doing the same things, still doing drugs, still about that life. And I regretted it. I was like, why did I come? I'm not saying I'm doing any better than him, but for girls who think men will change, take mine as an example. Mine doesn't change. He's still the same person. I don't know if he's worse than when we were together, but by the looks of how he was dressed, he's worse. And I'm nobody to judge. I don't know what he's been going through since we left each other. I don't know. Maybe a few days after we seen each other, he texted me. He messaged me. He was like, hey, can you pick me up? And I was like, you think I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing just to go see you and be in a car, possibly sleep in a car, and be with your friends? I was like, sorry, but I'm not that dumb anymore. I'm gonna go have my fun, vivir la vida alegre that he would always tell me I had. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I know I'm over it because I don't stop and jump and do things for him anymore. I don't feel sorry for him. I can go shopping and think about myself and only me. I no longer have to sleep in a car. I no longer have to sleep and be worried that the person sleeping next to me is on drugs. I no longer have to be struggling with money. I no longer have to ask my friends for money, my cousins, be worried if I'm gonna eat food or share $5, go get a $5 pizza and a canned soda. I'm not saying that's bad, but when it's two people and you guys love each other, you gotta make it one way or another. But if you're both down, I think that's bad. And I was the one that was more like above, but I was stupid. My money would go towards clothes, towards taking out phones for him and stuff. So I wasn't managing my money well, and I'm just so glad and I'm so grateful to God that I'm not where I was even 6 months ago. Maybe I don't have a car right now. I did lose my car in January, and I lost my job in ending of February. But I'm eating and I'm living better than I was when I was with him. And I refuse to ever be with someone who does drugs, who doesn't like to work, who doesn't see a future for themselves. Maybe I don't have long-term goals at the moment, but I always set myself short-term goals. I started my business in October, which he was aware of, but I didn't officially launch it till February. I have a rose business, and thankfully with the help of my cousin, she helps me promote it. And maybe I'm not getting a lot of clients, but in the future I will. But I have something going for myself, and that's like, I love doing flower arrangements. I love doing strawberries with chocolate. Like, my life is so much better than it was 6 months ago. You know, and if you're thinking of letting that person go for it. It's okay to feel nervous, to be scared, but I promise you, in 2 to 3 weeks, you'll feel a lot better. And relapse is okay as well, because sooner or later you're gonna know when it's over. I don't know if I can't remember if I talked about this in my last video, but one of the reasons why supposedly he says that he left me was because I couldn't give him a kid. I turned out pregnant. That was the biggest proof I needed. I got pregnant. And I was always the type to manage it out. It could be me because I was overweight, or it could be you because you did drugs. So when I had an appointment to go to see if I was fertile or not, that's when I came out pregnant. So, you know, there's better things to come. And I'm just, I don't know. I don't even know how to express my emotions. But I'm in just such a better place. I can't be mad. I can't be sad. But I'm just so glad that I'm not there. I'm not there. I can't even imagine to think where I would be if I was still there. Would I still be sleeping in the car? Would I be homeless? Would I be pregnant? Living in the streets? Like, who knows? I'm glad my last video has helped a lot of girls, and I hope this one is more motivational than the other. I'm so sorry the other one was more into detail of certain things that did happen, but I think it made me a lot closer to my family. I had thought about showing that video to my mom, but truthfully, I don't know if my mom watches my videos or not. So, but my mom is very supportive of, she obviously sees the difference in me. So don't forget to follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, Berecerrato, and on TikTok as well. But everything will be linked down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment, video suggestion maybe. I hope I'm getting better at these videos. They're all personal, but I think that's what makes me. I don't know. I don't have this tattoo for no reason. And soon I'm gonna touch base on this. I promise. So I think I'm gonna end this video here, and remember to stay strong and stay beautiful, stay safe, take care of yourself, be healthy, and the best is yet to come for myself, and I'm speaking in existence. So yeah, guys, see you guys in my next video. Bye.